members of the same family. They were out here celebrating last night. That driver then fled the scene. The family members did return early this morning back to the scene to pick up some of their belongings. They were still distraught. It was just before 3 o'clock this morning. The group was standing near East 170th Street and Sheridan Avenue. They were out here for a family celebration, according to one of the family members, when that Jeep plowed through the crowd at a high rate of speed, hitting 6 people, all members of the same family. All were taken to Lincoln Hospital. The driver then got out and fled on foot. One family member who witnessed it all tells us he thinks they were targeted.
We just came here to chill. As a normal family, just a little small gathering. And we were just talking like normally until a car came out of nowhere and hit us with no particular reason.
Obviously, a very upsetting ordeal for all the members of this family. They are clearly still distraught this morning. One woman does remain in critical condition at Lincoln Hospital. 5 others were injured, but not seriously, and police now looking for that driver. We're live in the Grand Concourse section of the Bronx this morning. I'm Diana Rocco, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Diana, thank you. Police released a clear picture of that suspect in a horrible shooting in the Bronx where a young boy and girl miraculously were not hurt. Police say they now have the gunman maskless on surveillance video. Here's the snapshot from the subway camera system. Now they just need help in identifying him. The shooting took place on Thursday on Sheridan Avenue in Mount Eden. Police say the shooter was targeting a gang member who is unrelated to the kids. The victim was shot in the back in both legs.
New York City's mayoral candidates were back and forth across the 5 boroughs in a final weekend push for votes before Tuesday's primary election. According to the Board of Elections, more than 155,000 votes have been cast now after 8 days of early voting. That's 2%. Maya Wiley was in Queens and Harlem, where she touted her progressive credentials, while frontrunner Eric Adams denounced recent gun violence in the Bronx. But it was Catherine Garcia and Andrew Yang who were getting the most attention because they were agreeing to disagree.
People can campaign together and not necessarily see eye to eye on everything, but Catherine and I are both driven by a vision to help New Yorkers.
So let me be very clear. I'm not co-endorsing. We are campaigning together. We are promoting ranked choice voting.
Early voting ends today with Election Day Tuesday because of ranked voting results may not be known actually until early July. Join us tomorrow for a special live edition of The Countdown for a closer look at the candidates, the issues, and ranked choice voting Monday at 7 p.m. before primary day. Then Tuesday, we will be live with coverage after the polls close starting at 9 p.m. You can watch it all on ABC7NY and on our streaming apps.
For the first time in more than a year, Madison Square Garden will be filled to capacity for a rock concert. The Foo Fighters taking the stage tonight at the world's most famous arena. Audience members will have to show proof of full vaccination before being allowed inside. Frontman Dave Grohl has told fans they should prepare for a long night of screaming their heads off together, finally. The last full capacity show at MSG was a celebration of the Allman Brothers Band, and that was back on March 10th, 2020.
Wow. The Brooklyn Nets will be staying home after last night's deciding game in their Eastern Conference semifinal showdown with the Bucks, but the hobbled super team didn't go down without one heck of a fight. Sports anchor Sam Ryan has more.
Well, it came down to this Game 7 with everything on the line. The Nets and the Bucks all even at 3 games apiece heading in, and Brooklyn going it without the injured Kyrie Irving in the must-win. And without Kyrie, the Nets knew they needed a big game from Kevin Durant, and he delivered. The game-tying bucket with a second left on the clock blows the roof off the Barclays, but he needed one more game-saving shot in overtime, and this time, it's no good. 115-111, the Nets drop a heartbreaker in overtime of Game 7. Their season is over. We'll hear from the Nets coming up a little bit later when we see you in sports.
Several of New York City's iconic landmarks paying tribute to the Juneteenth holiday weekend. The Empire State Building, One World Trade, and the Kosciuszko Bridge were draped in red, black, and green last night. Festivities taking place across the tri-state, marking the end of slavery. Broadway also putting on a show attracting an enthusiastic and appreciative audience in Times Square.
Juneteenth is a historic date that was born out of tragedy, but we have taken that tragedy and turned it into triumph.
Juneteenth, for me, has been a time for me to reflect, to connect to my ancestors,
Juneteenth, the 19th day of June, is now a national holiday after President Biden signed that bill into law on Thursday. People also celebrating Juneteenth at Cabinet Plaza Park. They gathered to hear speakers and take in some live music and dance performances. The city Parks Department dedicated a section of Cabinet Plaza Park as Juneteenth Grove last fall and planted 19 new flowering trees.
This morning, some terrifying moments at a pride parade in Florida. A truck plowed right into a group taking part. What witnesses are saying about what happened and the driver's alleged ties to the victims. And the Reverend Al Sharpton strikes a different tone for Juneteenth. He says Americans who are celebrating need to keep in mind.
In active weather, we're tracking temperatures. A quick warm-up is underway. We're already in the low to mid-70s across the area. New York is at 76. We can get back to the upper 80s, low 90s pretty easily this afternoon with good deal of sunshine and light west wind. Storms stay away from the city. Could see a pop-up north and west. We'll explain chances for rain showers, thunderstorms, and the AccuWeather 7-day forecast coming up.
It's been quite a year, New Yorkers, but we are still standing. And on June 22nd, we'll have the power to vote for the leadership we want for our city. Rank your top 5 candidates in order of preference. The more you rank, the louder your voice. If your first choice doesn't win, then your second, third, fourth, and fifth choice will be counted until there's a winner, giving you more say than ever before. But only if you rank your vote.
Ranked choice voting, it gives minorities a voice.
Vote for the change that you want in your neighborhood.
I'm voting to promote arts in New York City.
I'd like to see it smaller businesses, mom and pop shops.
So if you want change, you need to vote.
Suggest, beg, please go out and vote.
Let's lift the voices of the local community. It's our time, New York.
New York, don't waste your vote.
Democracy just got nothing with ranked choice voting. Don't waste your vote. Rank it. Make a plan to vote this June. For more information, go to voting.nyc.
Right now, she's not thinking about her work or her schedule.
Hey, Mom. How you doing? Good. We're just on our way back from the beach.
She's not thinking about her next appearance or even her boat tour. No, she's thinking about something more important. And thankfully, so is her automobile. The safest, most technologically advanced car we have ever introduced. Cares for what matters. The new S-Class from Mercedes-Benz.
And lock down your money with security from Chase. Control feels good. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Here this morning, one person killed, another critically injured after a pickup truck plowed right into a pride parade in Florida. The parade was part of a festivity activity list in Fort Lauderdale. The vehicle narrowly missing a convertible that carried Democratic Congressman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. The driver, along with the victims, all connected to the Fort Lauderdale Gay Men's Chorus. Witnesses say he told police it was an accident.
We have to make sure that we have all available information, that we speak to all involved witnesses, and we do our absolute best because that is what this community deserves.
The parade was canceled, but organizers say the remainder of the festival will continue.
In the middle of Juneteenth celebrations, words of caution from Reverend Al Sharpton. The civil rights leader said that Juneteenth should not be used as an excuse to gloss over the very real racial inequalities that continue to exist in America.
To celebrate Juneteenth is to make federal law to protect our right to vote. To celebrate Juneteenth is to make a federal law about policing. To celebrate Juneteenth is to deal with the unequal disparities that we deal with in healthcare in a pandemic.
Sharpton slammed Senate Republicans, saying it's no profile encouraged to vote for Juneteenth to be a federal holiday if they will not vote for the Voting Rights Bill or Justice in Policing Act. Check out our special, Our America, Black Freedom, where we share stories of what Black freedom means today. It's streaming now on our website and streaming apps. It's also available on Hulu. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden announced that their beloved German Shepherd, Champ, has died. Champ passed away at the Biden family home in Wilmington, Delaware. The Bidens say Champ was their constant, cherished companion during the last 13 years, adored by the entire family. They also have a 3-year-old German Shepherd named Major. They are expected to bring a cat to the White House sometime soon.
A Ugandan coach is the first member of an Olympic team to test positive for the coronavirus. The coach was barred entry into Japan, while others who traveled with him took a chartered bus to Osaka. Japan has required a 2-week quarantine for overseas travels, but Olympic teams are not subject to the same border controls. A state of emergency to curb the spread of the virus in Japan's largest urban areas ends today. Opening ceremonies for the Summer Games expected to take place in just 5 weeks. Well, thanks to the Postal Service, now you can look directly at the sun without hurting your eyes. Sort of. It's a new set of forever stamps featuring different images of the sun. All of the photos were taken from a NASA spacecraft that's in constant orbit above Earth. A sheet of 10 stamps sells for $5.50. You can also buy them in sheets of 20 stamps.
ALS did not prevent an heroic New York City firefighter from sharing a special wedding day moment with his daughter. Beautiful. Dennis Snyder answered the call of duty at Ground Zero after 9/11, and for the last 15 years, he's bravely been battling a rare form of ALS. When his daughter, Tanea, recently tied the knot, Dennis was at her side, swept her right off her feet, soaking in the joy from his motorized wheelchair. They then made it onto the dance floor for the appropriate song, Sweet Child of Mine.
We both came up with the same song, which was really perfect because it was a song that I had listened to a lot with my dad when I was young. One of the things that he told us on our wedding night, his speech, was to look around and feel the love. I think that that's the message that we want everybody to take away.
Tanea's brother shared images from the reception, later writing, "There wasn't a dry eye in the building."
I bet. As we continue on this Father's Day on Eyewitness News, bringing new life to a festival with a whole lot of heart. We'll take a look at a new documentary set to be released soon. It gives a glimpse of the Harlem Culture Festival and its ongoing impact today. Picture perfect for this Father's Day Sunday. It looks through the rest of the week. Amy Freeze with the AccuWeather forecast.
They're here.
You brought all these players with your Buick?
Yeah, it has 3 rows.
So you.
Your Buick has Apple CarPlay. Where do I plug in?
It's wireless.
That's so you. What do I do with these? Careful, it's kind of busy.
Oh, I got this with my superpowers.
And a little help from your Buick?
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you. Current eligible Buick lessees get this low mileage lease on this 2021 Buick Encore GX for around $179 per month. Whatever stresses you out, the uncertainty of the pandemic, how our lives have changed, bills stacking up. If you're struggling, give yourself a break, not a cigarette. Smoking increases the risk of severe illness due to COVID-19. Support is available. Visit nysmokefree.com or call 866-NY-QUITS to apply for a free starter kit of nicotine medications and to talk to a quit coach.
I'm Lydia, and there's more to me than HIV. There's my career, my cause, and creating my dream home. I'm a work in progress. So much goes into who I am. HIV medicine is one part of it.
Dovato is for some adults who are starting HIV-1 treatment or replacing their current HIV-1 regimen. With just 2 medicines and 1 pill, Dovato is as effective as a 3-drug regimen to help you reach and stay undetectable. You can take
In the EMS, we would call HIV high five. Get it? High five?
Dovato if you're allergic to its ingredients, or if you
We would say, watch out, they got high five.
Tafetolide can cause serious or life-threatening side effects. Hepatitis B can become harder to treat while on Dovato. Don't stop Dovato without talking to your doctor, as your hepatitis B may worsen or become life-threatening. Serious or life-threatening side effects can occur, including allergic reactions, lactic acid buildup, and liver problems. If you have a rash and other symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop Dovato and get medical help right away. Tell your doctor if you have kidney or liver problems, or if you are, may be, or plan to be pregnant. Dovato may harm your unborn baby. Use effective birth control while on Dovato. Do not breastfeed while taking Dovato. Most common side effects are headache, nausea, diarrhea, trouble sleeping, tiredness, and anxiety.
So much goes into who I am and hope to be.
Ask your doctor if Dovato is right for you.
People gathered in Marcus Garvey Park in Harlem last night to remember a cultural turning point and to watch a new Hulu documentary about the event called Summer of Soul. The summer in question is In 1969, concerts during a half dozen weekends came to be about much more than just music. Eyewitness News entertainment reporter Sandy Kenyon has the story.
Time stood still in Harlem when Gladys Knight sang just a few steps and a half-century away from where she performed during the Summer of Soul. Then, as now, a festive mood prevailed. Summer of '60. And like the original concerts, this was free for the community.
So it's Juneteenth celebration at Marcus Garvey Park, presented by Target.
Musa Jackson attended the shows as a child and never forgot the experience.
It was just electric. You know, it was a day where we just got to be with each other, you know? And then Nina Simone. Are you ready, black people? Are you ready?
The music was the best two generations of performers had to offer. But as its name suggests, the Harlem Cultural Festival was about a whole lot more.
It's about American culture. It's about American history. It's about what we all share together, if we would just look at it that way.
Their performance was filmed along with so many others, but the tapes sat unused in a basement for decades until Amir Questlove Thompson had them restored to create his first movie and bring it home to Harlem.
I want people to take away how beautiful and majestic this moment was in time. And this is joy, and we need it so much. After the year we've had, this film couldn't come at a better moment.
You'll be able to see his film a couple of weeks from now when it streams on Hulu, owned by the same parent company as ABC7. In Harlem, I'm Sandy Kenyon, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And as Sandy just mentioned, Summer of Soul will be in theaters and streaming on Hulu starting July 2nd.
What a gift to open those canisters and invite us all to
Bring us back.
Right, that's fantastic. 1969, fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
And a lot of outdoor performances looking to sort of resume activities this year in person and all.
Yeah, it's nice. And happening here, the timing is coinciding with the seasons changing.
And he knocked over my
Summer happening here over the weekend.
potted plants.
View of the Jersey Shore. Folks are already making their way onto the beach or staking their claim, their spots. Temperatures are in the low 70s.